So we have seen the definition of. So we have already seen last class the definition of what is logarithm. So I was trying to explain what does logarithm of whatever x to the base 2 mean. So what is that answer? What does that mean? If you don't know, I already said give a simple example as if I say, hey, what's logarithm to the base 3 and I just put a 9 here. So what does this mean? So basically you're just asking this is the base. You're asking how many times you multiply. So how many times do you multiply these three, how many times do you multiply this? That's the question. So every time you question what is that log basically means you're asking how many times the growth factor or the factor multiply itself all the way to get whatever that's given to you, that 9. And we see that the question here, maybe the only option is 3 times 3 is 9. See, there you go. So 3 times 3 is 9. So the answer has to be 2. That's all it is. So basically, the definition is logarithm of 9 to the base 3. Answer is 2. Why? So why? Because 3 raised to the power is 9. So we have a nice way of writing, hey, these two mean one and the same thing. So this is called logarithmic form, and this is called exponential form, right? So when you write exponential form, it's 3 square is 9. So 3 square is 9. Who doesn't know? Everybody knows. Even the second grade student know 3 times 3 is 9. But we can write this 3 raised to 9 instead of this. We can use, this is called, this one is the input, right? So, and that's the output. So the question is, if the output was given to us 9 and they don't give us nothing and it's just like a blank thing, hey, what goes here? And then we say, hey, we don't know. So we put a logarithm to the base 3 because so the base used is 3, the reference is 3, and you're asking what is this? 9 is 2. So we can have a lot of like example, and I say, hey, what's logarithm of 16 to the base 2? And ask a question, hey, how many times do I multiply? 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 2s will give you 8. Another multiplier is 16. See, you get, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4. You just write 4. So, but if they ask us something between, let's say, logarithm of like 20 and then to the base 2, hey, we don't know this, right? But at least we know that 2 raised to the 4 is 16 and 2 raised to 32, sorry, 2 raised to 6, 5 is 5. This answer is 5. Let me take off. There's too much of stuff here. So, what I'm trying to say, logarithm of 2 to the base 16 is 4, right? Logarithm of 32 to the base 2 is 5. So, if a question is asked, what is logarithm of 20? And so you can see this 20 is between 32 and 16. So that means the answer has to be between 4 and 5. That's how we are going to do this problem or practice problem lesson number 9. So the first question is for each. So you have a column give second one. So you need to match which one matches what, right? Now you can do this in even 1 minute to complete. Now 10 raised to 1, the first one 10 raised to y. So they give a 10 raised to y is 10, right? So what multiplies 10 raised to 1 is 10. So common sense. So the first one goes straight away. This one. What about the second one? Is like 10 raised to y is 2, right? 10 raised to y is. Now, 10 raised to y is given 20. So we do know 10 raised to 1 is 10. And 10 raised to 2 is 100. Can you see clearly 20 is between these two, right? So the answer has to be 1 and 2. So your answer, the So the question is, what is this y? It has to be, I'm making a solid y and between 2. So you need to figure out here, where is this between 1? What number is between 1 and 2? And clearly see this is the number between. So this goes right here. So let's do the next one. They give a, it says what number y should be. So when you multiply 10 itself to get 2000, right? So of course 10 raised to 1 is 10, right? 10 raised to 2 is 100. 10 raised to 3 is 1000. And 10 raised to 4 is 10,000, right? So your number that gave is 2000 will be in this one inside here, right? So this will be 2000. So that means between so the y that we are using, this is y, this is y. So the y that we'll have to use is between 3 and 4. So you look up here which one is 3 and 4, and you can see this one. So this goes right here. So the next one is 900. So 900. So now you can do this by yourself. You don't need my help, but still, if somebody is getting confused, I failed to show that. So the next one is 10 raised to y. So for that, 10 raised to 1 is 10 again. 10 raised to 2 is 100. Okay, and it's 900. And 10 raised to 3 is uh, 1000. So 900 is between. See here, this is 900 between 100 and 1000, right? So that means the input has to be between 3 and 4. So your y has to be between 2 and 3. So you look up where is between number between 2 and 3. And see this one, black one, goes right here. The last one, 10 raised to y is 4. Now this is a little tricky. 10 raised to 1 is 10, right? What is 10 raised to 0 is 1, and 10 raised to minus 1 is 1/10, right? So because this number is 4, so 4 lies between here. Can you see that? So this is 1, that's 10. 4 is between. So the input has to be 0 and 1. So the y has to be 0, y less than 1. And where you look up in this column, where is that? And you can see it right here. So hope that helps. Let's go to the next. Okay, can you pause this video for a while and see if you can figure out here, this is given to expression. First question is, how do you say the expression in words? So basically, what does this, how do you read this? So that's what they are saying. I like to put a parenthesis and say, hey, this is logarithm. So you say logarithm to the base, because the base is important because the reference is 10. So that's 10. How many times you multiply 10 to get this? That's what it is. So logarithm. Okay, let me write it neatly so some of you may get confused, but I'm just trying to write quickly here. So logarithm to the base is 10 of 100. That's all that means. So basically, or you can also read this as logarithm of 100 to the base. So it's the same thing. So the next question, explain in word, what does it mean? It's like, so what does that mean? What does this mean? Mean the base 10. So how many times do you multiply? Do you multiply the base 10? So you want to know how many times do you how many times do you multiply 10 to reach 100. Now we do know 10 raised to 1 is 100, right? And 10 raised to 2 is, huh, sorry, this is 0. This is 10. And 10 raised to 2 is 100. There you go. You got the answer. So what is the value of this expression? Okay, the value is 10 raised to 2 is 100, right? So this 2 is important. That's what the question is. So this answer is 2. Because this 10, the base, when you multiply itself two times, you get this 100. So every time you're questioning, and this time I'm going to put 4 here and put a 64. I'm asking, hey, how many 4s do you multiply? Or you say, hey, how many 4s do you multiply? So how many of them gives you 64? And you can say put 4, 4, 4. 3 are enough, right? 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is, so 3 4s you multiply. So there is 3. So that's all it is. So hope that helps. Let's go to the next one. Read the question. The base 10 log table shows that the value of, so there's a base, or maybe given to you, like, they give all that log of, like, this is log of x to the base 10, and there will be input x, and they'll be giving, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, and somewhere at 50, they gave you 50 is 1.6989. Of course, we can check with the calculator to explain or show why it makes sense that the value. So how do you know this answer makes sense? So how do you know this? Okay, so we do know already the output. But the question, does it make sense to us? Is it really true? So what we ask is, let's write a log of 50 to the base 10, right? Now the question is, what is this? So we want to know. So I put a box question mark. So what does it mean is, this means this base, the base, we want to know how many tens do you multiply. So that same question mark is right here to give 50, right? So it's the same thing. Writing logarithm of this is basically you write in the exponential form and say, hey, 10 raised to what number gives that? And then we do know 10 raised to 1 is 10, okay? And 10 raised to 2 is 100, right? So, but this 50 which being given, which shows us this 50 is between 50 is 10 and 100, right? So basically, so the value, so when the question they ask, this makes sense is because this has to be between, this number is 1. So there's a 1 right here. Input is 1 is 10. Input is 2 is 100, right? So this number 10 raised to 1.69897 is 50. So it makes sense because the input has to be between 1 and 2. If you see the graph, if I try to graph this, and let's say this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? So 10 raised to 1, so log of, so if I say 10 means how many tens gives you 10, so there's only 1. So 1, this will be 10. And if this number, log of 100, so how many tens do you multiply to get the output? 2, so I'll put 2. So this is 2, see? So the graph basically is going this way, and see this one? It goes this way, and then and close to here. You can't have log of negative number, so this is how it is. So where is 50? 10, 20, 30, 40, and then it's 50, right? So this number is almost like 1.6. That's what it says. It's almost like halfway down. So hope that makes sense. Question number 4 is here. So they did give us a table. Okay. So they give us again the base used is 10, right? So here's the table. What is the approximate value of this? And you can see the 400 is right here. So when the input is 400, the answer is 2. That's it. So you just put 26021. So next question, what is the value of this? So kind of asking, is it exact value? And this is so easy, you don't know what is this, right? Put a question mark and say, hey, 10 raised to what? How many tens do you multiply to get 1000? And this is 3. If you see at the bottom, they did give us, there you go, it's already given. When the input is 1000, the answer is 3. This is the exact value. So you're done. So there's nothing much, right? Let's go to the next one. Okay, I want you to pause the video and say, hey, can you figure it out yourself? Like, what is the value of this, right? So how do we know to figure this out? So the first thing is, why don't I write this 1 million? Since there are 9 zeros, that means it is right. So I'll take off this and say, hey, that means it is 10 raised to 9. So this is 10 raised to 9, right? So the question is, how many tens do I multiply? So what does logarithm means? How many tens? How many times do we multiply this same number to all the way to get 1 billion, right? So this is billion. And you can say and it's so easy, you don't have to break your head. Like if there are 9 zeros, so you can clearly see that's 10 raised to 9 right there. So it's like asking, this is the base, so this is the base, so 10 raised to what gives you 10 raised to 9. So the answer is 9. So it has to be 9. That's it. That's not much you can do. So the answer is 9. What is the value of this? You say 9. Why? Because 10 raised to 9 is 1 billion, right? Okay, so let's go. This is an easy question. Let's go to the next one. So what is a bank account in dollar model? So you are given an expression. Look at this. That means this number 1000 is what was in the beginning. So this is the beginning, right? So what you have money in the bank. And then what is this is the growth factor 1.08. What does that mean? Is it is 1 plus 0.08. It means it is 100% whatever the in the beginning had. And this is 8%. See? So that means the percent increase is 8%. The question is how many years will it take for the balance to double? So what does this double mean? So you had money in the beginning, 1000, so zero, let's say you have 1000, and you want to know after how many times it become double, right? We don't know that part. The question is, uh, and because it is 8%, and you want to know when it's going to be 2000, right? So how do we do this? So one way you want to see is, okay, the growth factor is given as this, this is the number, right? So you have 1000 was what we had before. So 1000 times 1.08. So how many of those, like you're asking how many of those will give you 2000. And you go on multiplying this and see how it works. So and you can see if you multiply this, I think it is almost like 7 years. Just check it out. Maybe 6 years. You just use the calculator, and we don't know how many years. So I'll just make it like a hey, I don't know question mark. You figure it out yourself on the calculator every time you put 1.081 or 1000. So 1.081. That's all it is. This is the actually lesson number 8. I think it is lesson number 8. Yeah, just a kind of a thinking. So since we are working on the logarithm, and then it's so easy for us to think of the log, and you can directly use and say, hey, I don't know what is this, so but you can still figure it out and say, hey, this means you can just divide this by 1000 on both sides, and you get this goes away and say 1.08. And the question mark we don't know is 2. Is 2. So we want to know when is this going to be 2, right? So this is 2. So that means this part is we use the logarithm of 2, and you want to know 1.0. The base is this, right? So you can put on the calculator and figure it out yourself. But that's not the question is. So as I said, you can just multiply. This is a question, right? So how many times? And I think it is 7 or 8 or 9. You just figure it out yourself, and when you get 2, that's it, you're done. So asking a question, how many times do you multiply this 1.08 to get this 2? So hope this will help. So let's check. So hope this helped. And I will do next is lesson number 10. So continue watching the videos, which helps. Even though I'm making these videos from my house, so just want to help students who miss the class and who are maybe having struggling to figure out how to go about. So that's my goal, is just to help students who are struggling, and hope this video helps. Uh, if you like it, please do click on. I know in the school you can't use a laptop to like it. You can use a mobile phone maybe, and you can like it, put comment, and whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching.